aggressive, leggy boss, and angry boss.
Surely over. Could be fascinating action ahead, Daniel McBride.
Well, definitely will be, Simon. And I think with all the noise and drama around Western Sydney this week, you wouldn't be mistaken to think that they were at the bottom of the table, but the reality is they're only a point out of the 6. It's been a horror month for them, but they'll look to rectify that today. And as you said in your opening speech there, Perth Glory, they are running out of time. They need to
Even though the Wanderers haven't won at HBF Park in 10 years and 1 month, they did win on their last trip to Western Australia. That was 6-1 against Floreat Athena in the Australia Cup. Lockie Brook with 5 goals that day. I'm sure Marco Redan has drilled into his players the importance of a strong start. Aidan Simmons sliding in and was a fraction late, and we're going to have a yellow card, I fancy here. Yeah. First minute of the game, that's a long time to carry a caution for Aidan Simmons.
It was good pace from Benny, wasn't it? And he just got across, and you know what? If that was any other time in the game, you wouldn't be questioning it. It's brought down Daniel Benny, who was probably away on a promising break there. It's a very attacking lineup put up by Alan Stajic today. We haven't seen Kolakowski, Taggart and Davey Williams out there together. We heard Davey Williams saying he's looking forward to playing alongside the two and trying to cause some problems. Plenty of movement and pace that could cause problems for that West Sydney defence.
Well, we know Glory can score goals. They've scored multiple goals in 14 of their 20 matches so far this season. They do tend to concede 1 and 2 as well. Thanks for an exciting game. Ollie Sale to send the ball forward. Picked up here by Daniel Benny. Given away though by Riley Warland. And a foul on Aidan Simmons by David Williams, enjoying a rare start. I'm sure Marco Redan glad to have his talisman Marcelo back today. That should steady the defence down a bit.
Definitely adds some experience in there, doesn't it, to guide those youngsters either side of him. Simmons.
Generally, he has gone for experience today. Do you think that's the right tactic?
I think so, yes. I think when you're in a bit of a crisis, which is what's happened at Western Sydney this past month, you need to rely on some old heads just to steady the ship and get the younger ones through it. And speaking of old heads, they don't get much older in the A-League than that man, Milos Ninkovic.
Let's just drag back fractionally there, Milos Ninkovic, which the Wanderers believe should have brought about a free kick.
Well, that's what Marco Redan was just saying there. He just motioned. He's pulling his shirt and holding him back.
Here is Marcelo. He was probably glad he sat out that game against Melbourne City during the week. Bonneting. Now, Jorrit Hendricks accelerates through a little gap. On the right is Aidan Simmons. He'll send in the cross. It's looped over the top by Borrello and kept alive, is it, by Sonny Kittle? No. Bell kick.
Just tried to help that on, Borrello. Not sure if he's trying to flick it in towards that far post or just guide it onto the back post area for a teammate. Spoke in the pre-game about Perth and their second half performances with 76% of their goals in the second half. I wonder if the heat might play a factor in that today as well.
Travel as well for the Wanderers. They've got a bit of room here for Ninkovic though, sent it in towards Borrello at the near post. It's just slightly difficult to bring under his spell. It's routine for Ollie Sale.
It's nice movement though from Borrello, wasn't it? You see there, he just slips in between two defenders and can't quite get finish on, but nice sharp movement.
He was actually looking for the cutback with the outside of the right boot. Might have been better going with his left. This is Mustafa Amini, Western Sydney boy by birth, playing for the Glory this evening. It's a little coming together between Marcelo and David Williams. More appeals for a referee's whistle that doesn't arrive. Bonneting, one of the youngsters who has kept his place. And they get a bit of space down the left, this time for Jack Clisby. And Glory not of a mind to take any risks, and it's going to be a Wanderers corner.
Well, Anastasis just wasn't too pleased with how easily Jack Clisby got that ball and was able to move forward there. Koski, they're playing on the right of the midfield four there, just a little out of position.
Marcelo is one of those potential targets from Sonny Kittle's delivery, staring directly into the sun. Marcelo did go for it, but beaten in the air. Here's Priestman, charged down, but it favours Antonsen the rebound. And the Wanderers will get another go. This time off Josh Rawlins. Of the shed. Just got a hefty smattering of Perth Glory fans populating it. Everybody's just on the hole for the moment. Sean Evans has a word with Riley Warland. keeping an eye on that little cluster of players who are doing the tango as Hendricks delivers the ball towards the back post and hooked away by Daniel Benny. Clisby's return is... But a fairly solid start by the visitors, which will please their coach.
Yeah, it's been relatively positive. Just talking about the danger they have from those corners as well. You see there's 3 or 4 Western Sydney players using blockers as well. I don't mind a headed goal as well. 14 headed goals this season, which is only Adelaide the nearest with 8. Everyone else have got more than double.
Bonneting waiting for an option to present itself. Kittle did the job. This is Marcus Antonsen. Clisby. Kittle. Wanderers building nicely here. Priestman. Simmons. Kittle again. Clisby the option on the left, who is ignored. And they go right instead. When Ninkovic picks the ball up, and it was awkward that for Majeka Dummi. To play it off the thigh behind for another Wanderers corner.
He just looked like he lost the flight of it for a second, didn't he? I don't know whether he thought maybe someone was coming, and maybe our angle it looked like he was a little bit misjudged, but I see someone now on the floor. Kolakowski, knee.
It's a worry for Alan Stajic. A few choice words muttered under his breath. He would not want to lose Stefan Kolakowski at this early juncture. Had his injury concerns, of course, in his days with Melbourne City. Something just not quite right there for Stefan Kolakowski. Testing that left knee out. So he'll come to the sidelines for the moment whilst the Wanderers take their corner. Dorian Hendricks again to deliver. Now we're ready. It's a real game of push and shove going on involving Marcelo, who is there at the back post and did win it. And it's seen behind by Ollie Sale. Good pressure from Western Sydney Wanderers.
Well, he's such a threat from set pieces, isn't he, Marcelo? You see all the bodies that are there going around. He still manages to find space. Strong headed down. It's probably going wide, but Ollie Sale wasn't taking any chances.
Sonny Kittle this time. Marcelo again in position, near post, in. Brandon Borello claims the credit, celebrates the birth of his new baby boy Luca with his first of the season. Nothing that Glory could do to defend that one, and Western Sydney Wanderers, after a tumultuous week, hit the front.
Well, on the Harvey Norman replay, you can see it's a great run and a great leap from Borello at the near post. There's purple shirts around him, but he just gets up, big and strong, and there's not much that Ollie Sale can do. Can't get the hands up quick enough and can only help it into his own net. But look at the leap at Borello at the near post. And it's his first goal of the season, and celebrates the birth of his baby boy. It's been a big week or two for him. And he'll be glad to see his name on the scorer's sheet.
Well, he was a Wanderers standout player last season, but this year has been one problem after another, really, for Brandon Borello with that foot injury sustained in the Sydney Derby in November. But he's back. Are the Wanderers potentially? They have got a precious lead in WA. Perth Glory do about it? They've been a bit subdued at the start of this contest, the Glory.
Well, that's par for the course for Perth Glory, isn't it? First half, just go through the motions. Davey Williams say they can't really get their finger on why the first halves haven't been that great. They usually come home with a real wet sail in the second half.
Far this season in which they've scored. Western United and Nicholas Milanovic put them in front. Only for Western to hit back with 3 late goals. Plenty of time for the Glory to turn this one around. Sail to punch the ball forward. It's a really good touch to find Kolakowski. Favouring the visitors. This is Colley. Bit of a nothing ball. And even though it is still early, Macca, I guess this was always the danger for Perth, that they were going to run into something of a backlash. Wanderers really couldn't be as poor as they were during the week against Melbourne City. He skips clear of one challenge. Holds off a second. And eventually draws the referee's whistle.
It was a good battle there, wasn't it? Anything there. I think Musti Amini's the one that's holding on to Brandon Borello. So he's done well. So we come to the 15th minute. It's the reaction that Marco Redan would have wanted.
A chance for Glory to throw a few players forward, including Jakadumbi at the back post, who's looking to make his move. Instead it goes along the floor for Daniel Benny. Touched out by Williams for Warland. Colley's cross headed firmly away by Marcus Antonsen. It's a nice ball from Josh Rawlins. Colley again from a deeper position, on flight this time, and Kolakowski couldn't quite wrap his boot around it.
He looks to be limping.
Yeah, doesn't look to be moving too freely, does he?
It's not a bad ball, that, from Colley. And he actually gets there. He'll be a little disappointed he couldn't get his foot around it. Maybe there's a little more in that knee.
There's Ross Pelligra, the new owner of Perth Glory, at HBF Park for the first time since the takeover. Did a bit of a meet and greet with supporters pre-game. Fresh start, new optimism for Glory. Surely a foul by Rawlins.
And there's also a new front of shirt sponsor as well. It's come on board. So he's looking on the up out west.
Apart from on the park at the moment, where Brandon Borello's early goal has the Wanderers in front. Here's Ninkovic. Interesting to see just how long Milos Ninkovic plays. He's 39 now, of course, and has been used only sparingly, entirely off the bench this season. Needs must for the Wanderers in their predicament.
I just wonder how much he'll keep coming to this left-hand side to go into that shade. It is a warm afternoon.
Well, he also likes to go on the left-hand side to drift into the pocket of space, doesn't he? Talking of which, they've bound a little bit here through Sonny Kittle down that left-hand side. Hendricks and Ninkovic. Still there for him. Away, but not completely. Hendricks again. Kittle, well, Sean Evans was in the way there. Accidentally, of course, but Sonny Kittle was saying, come on ref, move.
It's almost a yellow card, that, isn't it? Coming through the back of the leg.
So a free drop for the Wanderers, as is the rule, as they were in possession. Minkovic with time to turn. Kittle. Borello screaming for the ball, not once but twice eventually. Marcelo obliged. Lisby down the line for Kittle. They're working this quite nicely, the Wanderers. Priestman back through Bonatic. Hendricks for Priestman. Hendricks. Laurie sat very deep. Kittle. Minkovic, for once, his magic touch lets him down and commits the foul, and then kicks the ball away, which sometimes attracts a yellow card. Not on this occasion.
Well, for a moment there, it was a really patient and measured approach from Western Sydney, and as it came to Ninkovic, all the kind of positions he normally gets on the ball, has a nice touch and looks to thread a pass or take someone on, and just got away from him on that occasion.
Now, Josh Rawlins on the right for Glory. Taggart lurking. So too Williams at the back post, and the drop here for Benny. Not far off, and it's taken a touch on the way through. It's going to be the Glory's first corner of the game.
It was a decent ball in, wasn't it? It's not where you want the header to go, to the edge of the box. As Benny took aim, a little deflection, may have been just enough to take it wide.
Giordano Colli to deliver, whipped in towards the near post, but Antonsen was perfectly positioned. Back and it comes. And Majeka Dummi decides to keep the ball alive. His side of the pitch, fully bathed in shadow. Heaney out wide for Williams, who'll fire in the cross. One back by Amini. Glory's turn to threaten. Williams. Ninkovic sees it behind. Good little spell for Perth.
It's the first period of sustained pressure down this end. They have weathered the pressure down the other end. It's been a good start from Western Sydney, but they're just starting to get their a foothold in the game now, Perth.
Colli again. Does he go near post? A bit more flight this time, and Chekadumi was at the back post, but clean take by Lawrence Thomas. Well, almost a clean take.
Well, he would have been looking right into the sun there as well, wouldn't he? So it's not a bad take, the second attempt.
Marcelo. Kittle. Hendricks. Good turn by Priestman. Hendricks angles it out wide again for Priestman. To going all the way back to his goalkeeper. In the air off Benny. And Davey Williams gets the throw in off the shins of the big Brazilian. It's the 5th time this season that Perth have conceded the first goal at home. The good news for Glory fans, they've won 2, drawn 1 and lost only 1 of the previous 4. In terms of the Wanderers, they are 4 wins from 4 when scoring the first goal on the road this season. Clesby. Of course, a win for the Wanderers would return them back into the top 6, which they were deposited from during the week. It's a rather cheap giveaway. Benny has had a good breakthrough season on the back of that eye-catching little cameo against West Ham in the high-profile pre-season match.
And it was an unfortunate overhit pass there because he'd made a great run, Daniel Benny. Showing great pace as well.
Good tenacity there as well to try and win the ball back for Perth, which has had a measure of success in terms of the throw, which Riley Warland will now take. Williams. Colley looking to lift it towards the back post. Now the Wanderers with a chance to spring forward. Sonny Kittle leading the charge. We have got numbers back. Ninkovic, who was back doing defensive duty with that clearing header just moments ago. I've said a few times, I think that's a part of his game that is often been ignored down the years. He doesn't shirk his defensive duty. Take him a bit longer to get back these days, but
I was going to say, it's not really where you want him now, is it?
no. Here's Warland with the cross. There is Miloš Ninkovic, almost in the left fullback position.
Well, Marco Redan said he wanted to put some experience in there to guide the younger players. Well, he's leading by example, isn't he? Getting back, defending, clearing headers.
He's given the ball away here, though. Could be a big chance for Perth. It was an errant touch, though, by Adam Taggart, of all people. He's had such a prolific year in terms of goals. But the ball just squirmed away from him, and for that, Miloš Ninkovic is grateful, because it was his giveaway.
That's a touch that Adam Taggart will rue later when he gets to think about that one. You see here, Ninkovic trying to play out. There's a little bit of confusion as well in the Western Sydney ranks. Just there, Adam Taggart, you think he takes a touch and then he finishes. Doesn't quite get a foot on it.
Now the Wanderers have got a bit of an injury concern at the moment before this corner can be taken. Aidan Simmons with a bit of an issue to the right leg. So far, so good for Marco Redan after a very tricky week. They're going to be a man short from this corner. Which is a really awkward one for the goalkeeper, looking into the sun as the ball comes out of the shade. Where's the cap, Lawrence? And towards the near post, and Marcelo helps his goalkeeper out. Aidan Simmons is back with us. Late afternoon sunshine can be a real problem for goalkeepers.
Yeah. And if you had a corner from that side, you'd just be putting it right on top of him, wouldn't you?
Amini. Off the chest of Simmons. He now looks to spring forward. Rather wrapped up in midfield, and Glory at first forced the turnover. Wanderers quickly back in control. Wanderers' form on the road so far this season has been decent. 4 wins, 2 draws, 4 losses. Of course, everything rather coloured by that record A-League defeat during the week. Off the head of Rawlins, and then Marcelo for Western Sydney. Antonsen brings it down. Wallen wins the foot race with Borrello, but Borrello trying to keep pace with it. It's good play by Riley Warland and by Daniel Benny, and he'll get a corner off Marcelo. And Perth continuing their recent dominance. They've had a good 5 or 10 minutes.
Well, it was good determination here, wasn't it? It looked like Borrello had got the better of Rawlins, and then Daniel Benny takes over as well. Both determined to win their challenge. Another deflected shot, another opportunity, and that just doesn't look too impressed, does he?
Well, maybe this corner will liven him up. Giordano Colli's going to take, and Lawrence Thomas is going to catch.
Well, that's a delivery you want from the other side, isn't it? It won't be long till that shadow is cast right across the goal, and then the moments will be lost.
Marcelo. Wanderers still well ahead in the possession stakes. Antonsen eased off it by Latchman. Sent long, and David Williams up against Bonatic. That's really coolly done by the youngster. Looked for a moment as though the bounce had put him in a spot of bother. And given away rather cheaply by Hendricks. Then he sent it forward. Here's Taggart. Oh, it sat nicely for him, didn't it?
Well, we saw earlier in the season a similar situation where he just measured himself around the edge of the box and just smashed one in. And his eyes lit up there again. First touch is nice. There's a quick little look. A little too much underneath the ball.
Half an hour played at HBF Park. Glory, who were slow out of the blocks again, starting perhaps to warm to their task a little bit. This is a game that is oh so important for the Glory. Sitting as they do, 8 points outside the top 6 at the moment with only 7 to play. That's a foul by Borrello. Glory quickly on with it. Riley Warland into position, but hooked away by Marcelo. And now Ninkovic.
Well, on the whole, Western Sydney have done this well. They've kept possession when they've won it back. There's a couple of senior heads in there now that not forcing the issue, putting their foot on the ball when they need to, slowing the game down, getting it back to their place, to their pace, and allowing them to control and dictate the play where possible. It's just what you want off the back of such a heavy defeat. You want someone to really take control. Know when the tempo needs to be lifted, know when to slow it down.
Hot afternoon in WA. Sustained spells of possession, particularly when you're 1-0 up, can be worth their weight in gold. Glory will come at the Wanderers in the second half, make no mistake about that. You mentioned that second half record marker of the Glory. 28 goals they've scored this season in the second halves of matches. 21 of those in the last 15 minutes. It's a quite extraordinary record.
It's frightening, isn't it? It's something that you couldn't write it. He's so good so late on in games. The one observation I do have with Western Sydney when they play out is their centre-backs do go very wide. And we saw earlier when they gave the ball away, Adam Taggart was left central. We saw that against Sydney.
It's a nice little reverse ball by Borrello, and Oscar Priestman has run 30-40 metres. Now links up with Sonny Kittle and is in position for the return. There's two men in the box to aim for. I think he might have overrun it. There's no flag. So the ball stayed in play and Borrello wins it back. And then promptly takes his seat. Maybe just got caught a little bit by Mustafa Amini as they grapple for possession. And you can see, given the warm temperatures, that the game just slows to walking pace at certain points of the contest. In the air by Hendricks. Off the head of Bonatic, but it drops for Amini. It's clever from Warland. Maybe not quite clever enough.
Well, it was just an under-hit pass from Musti Amini, wasn't it? Gave Mountainson the opportunity to win.
Oh, Riley Warland getting a few groans from the home fans after miscuing for the second time in a matter of seconds. He'd be a footballer. Oh, Amini, that's a super ball. Daniel Benny and Williams, good save. Lawrence Thomas preserves Western Sydney Wanderers' advantage with a fine one-handed stop.
Well, what about the forward pass from Musti Amini there? Daniel Benny with a great run, and he just tees it off for David Williams. And Lawrence Thomas with a fine save, tips it over the bar. Daniel Benny does look forward, dangerous when he marauds forward down that left-hand side, doesn't he?
And to your point, Macca, they've got to try and make the most of this corner from this near side. That sunlight has almost gone to distract Lawrence Thomas. Goes towards the back post and headed well wide in the end by Adam Taggart.
He found himself free in space there, didn't he, Adam Taggart? 6 yards out.
Now the Wanderers have got another problem here. The medical team wants to come on and give some attention, but I don't think referee Sean Evans has given permission for that to happen. The Wanderers taking the chance to have a drink, one or two of the players. I'm not sure it's an official drinks break. And Sean Evans is saying, hey, come on, let's get on with the game.
Well, all the Western Sydney players came to the sideline. Marcelo and Bonatic are doing stretches inside the box, and Sean Evans is saying, well, we've got a game of football to play here.
There's that experience that you talked about, Macca. The old heads just buying a few seconds.
All adds
to
up.
the referee, I guess,
Yeah.
to not allow it. Sent forward by Clisby. It's a good stretch that by Rawlins. Majeka Dumbi. Rather clumsy challenge by Borrello. Matchman quickly on with it, and now Warland down the left. 1-2 with Benny. Now Warland trying to steal in behind, but there were two Wanderers players providing cover, one of whom is Priestman. And again, calmly done by Western Sydney. Ninkovic. Simmons, then a touch by Marcelo, and back with Priestman. He's managed to glide in behind two Glory players, And the Wanderers are away here. It's Marcus Antonsson, a round one challenge. Good save by Sale. Sonny Kittle squares it up. Goodness me, they butchered that chance. It should be 2-0 for the Wanderers. Somehow Glory survive.
Well, it's been a few weeks since Antonsson has scored a goal. It was a wonderful play down that right-hand side. And here, when he cuts inside, you think it's a great opportunity. And just there, I thought Sonny Kittle was just going to try and tuck it away, and he tries to cut it back and gets it all wrong.
Well, a big let-off for Perth Glory. They've still got the corner to come via the boot of Jorrit Hendricks. Towards the back post. Antonsson to reset. Priestman. No touch off a Glory defender that time. And will they rue that missed opportunity? Rawlins. And that's a blatant arm across. Josh Rawlins by Sonny Kittle. Sean Evans has seen it and has allowed the advantage, which might be a good decision for Perth. Here's Colling. In the past, scored absolute worldies from outside the box. He won goal of the season last year. That was the foul by Kittle. And in the end, a good advantage played.
It was good refereeing. Saw that the ball had managed to reach its target. Here we are with Perth Glory. Another corner.
The top goal scorer lying in wait, Musti Amini. With the corner, near post, Thomas gets it away. And Kolakowski really didn't have much control. And you do wonder about that injury for Stefan Kolakowski. He's been rather peripheral in this game so far.
Yeah, he has. Seen a lot of the play for Perth down that left-hand side.
Meany again going cross-field, and on the volley was Williams. Oh, that was Marco van Basten-esque. Without the same end result, of course.
He doesn't mind an effort. You can see the funny side of it as well. Maybe someone just got on his ear and said, that's ambitious, but collected it quite well, didn't he?
Would have been some way to bring up 50 A-League goals. Not to be. Now, a yellow card shown to Lawrence Thomas for delaying the restart. Alan Stadgen can see getting rather irritated by what he views as being the Wanderers' time-wasting tactics.
Well, this is an important 5 minutes, really, for Western Sydney in particular. And the way their confidence has been in the matches recently, they don't want to go in with that lead. Conceding a goal here, knowing that Perth Glory are so proficient in the second half, be a real hammer blow to their confidence.
Yeah, Marco Rodan said pre-game that the heads tend to drop when they concede, particularly the first goal. They haven't done that today. Defence normally a part of their game that's been so strong. 7 clean sheets this season, but importantly none in any of their last 7 matches.
Well, that's it, it's 7 clean sheets in their first 14. And then all of a sudden, the wheels just fell off, didn't they?
Amini has Benny as an option, which he uses. It's going to be another corner for Perth. A succession of them for Glory.
They've had some real success down that left-hand side, Perth Glory, haven't they? Play the ball wide, come back inside, and then the forward runner in behind the fullback position. To date, it's only ended up in corners. They do keep probing.
Glory's 7th of this first half. Meany's delivery and a good take that by Lawrence Thomas. That's what you want from your goalkeeper. And I reckon he might be a bit smarter in getting rid of the ball this time. Ninkovic. Priestman. Marcelo. Simmons. Hendricks. Apologises to Brandon Borello. Ball towards David Williams. who's looking for the runners. Kolakowski was one. It's a really sharp bit of defending from Marcelo to take it off his toe. And now Ninkovic. Kittel. Wanderers players almost got in each other's way there. It's given away though. More groans from the home fans. Priestman. Clisby out wide for Ninkovic. Priestman again. Simmons. Hendricks. Again, the Wanderers happy to enjoy a spell of possession. Now Borrello looking to get more active. Not this time. He's got the goal that counts so far.
It was a good goal as well. You can see Marco Redan driving them on, and there's been a lot of talk about desire and character in this Western Sydney outfit over the past couple of weeks. Well, that opportunity that they spurned to go 2-0 up, I was watching before that, Borrello was up front, and as Perth went forward, he saw that they were outnumbered, and he sprinted all the way back and helped win that ball before they went on the attack. So he's leading by example from the front. Obviously would be buoyed by the Socceroos call up again during the week.
That's the way he plays the game, isn't it? Full commitment. Clisby up against his old club, of course. Couple of spells with Perth Glory. Oh, that's too casual from Hendricks. And Taggart will race. I was going to say clear, but Hendricks has got that goal side, but Taggart's too sharp for him. And squares it up. Chance for Colley to have a go. And Bonatic makes the block. Sent back by Warland. Good ball, and Taggart. And he's dragged it right across the face. A little bit more urgency there from the Glory.
Well, it came from an errant pass, wasn't it? And they seemed to have total control, Western Sydney. And Taggart was at the heart of it. It's a tight angle, that one. It's rushed into the shot as well.
To first half stoppage time, of which there will be a minimum of 2 minutes. Out of the air by Benny, but drops for Marcelo. And he's aware of the run of Kittel. It's a fraction over hit. The German under-20 international of Polish heritage. Lachman. Puts it out in front of Warland. It's too strong for Benny. At times they combine well down that left-hand side, the two youngsters. Not on that occasion. Riley Warland, who's starting his 11th consecutive game. More established in this particular spell with the club after he had a year, of course, playing in England with Fulham in the Junior Premier League 2 competition over there in the UK. So a nudge there on Borrello. Wanderers thought so, but Sean Evans happy to let it ride. Seemed to be shoved over there, Borrello. It's a bit of a nothing ball from Ramini. So no harm for the Wanderers, but a little annoyed they didn't get the whistle.
Oh, I tend to agree. Thought he copped 2 knocks, one from each player.
Oh, Lawrence Thomas has given the ball away. Here's Giordano Colley. They're queuing up here. Glory, 1-1. Disaster for Western Sydney. Perhaps with the final kick of the first half, Adam Taggart celebrates his Socceroos call-up this week with the equaliser. It's his 15th of the season. The shed in raptures and the Wanderers crestfallen. Their lead has disappeared through a needless error.
Well, on the Harvey Norman replay will show us it's a disaster of their own making. Lawrence Thomas trying to be too cute. There's Perth players everywhere and they're queuing up. And as the ball comes back across, there's one player they don't want it to fall to in the Western Sydney defence. You there see Lawrence Thomas, he's just too cute. It's the last kick of the game. Just get it up the field, and Collie just picks out Taggart, who tucks it away for his 15th of the season. We mentioned earlier they wanted to see out this last period of the first half, Western Sydney. Well, they've shot themselves in the foot.
Well, Adam Taggart won't care. He's level with Bruno Forderoli on 15 goals. And at the end of a first half that has been a bit of a struggle for Perth, at times they are back on level terms. And Western Sydney Wanderers only have themselves to blame. It never rains, but it pours, Macca, even on a hot day in Perth when it's going against you. And they've been punished. And incidentally, a yellow card shown to Brandon Borello, we assume for dissent after the non-award of that free kick, which was in the build-up, I guess, in part to that goal. Ross Pelligra able to celebrate first glory goal in the flesh as the new owner. And that is half-time. Well, on Tuesday night, Western Sydney Wanderers were 4-0 down at the break, and Marco Redan made 5 substitutions. I was going to say that thanks to Brandon Borello's goal, you'd have a far easier half-time team talk here tonight, but that late error from Lawrence Thomas has put the pressure back on the red and black, and we know how good Perth Glory are in the second half. Adam Taggart wasn't going to miss from there. 1-1 at the break, lots more to come in this one, you'd fancy. Perth Glory 1, Western Sydney Wanderers 1. And we're off to a break ourselves. Get the half-time thoughts of our team led by Tara Rushton in a few minutes. Stay with us.
Thing about football and football clubs like this, I'm telling you, without this group of people over here, you have nothing, eh? These guys have been absolutely magnificent. The pressure was on today. And what you have to remember, the most important thing in any football club anywhere in the world is the supporters. Together we are stronger. This belongs to you. This is our pitch.
The new A-League men's season is upon us. Lights, camera, action. This could seal it!
Wouldn't you know it? Unbelievable.
The celebrations, there they are.
Oh! Talk about a grandstand finish.
Well, sit back, relax, and enjoy the show.
The fairy tale is complete. The Central Coast Mariners, champions of Australia.
Are you with me? Let's go!
Time to nut up or shut up.
Hey, don't even worry about it.
The heart wants what the heart wants.
From every universe.
Let's make a show that makes you feel good.
Feel good. Magic is real.
I'm ready if you are.
The Bundesliga is back.
Welcome back to the Bundesliga.
Bundesliga returns.
The Bundesliga is back.
The thing about football and football clubs like this, I'm telling you, without this group of people over here, you have nothing, eh? These guys have been absolutely magnificent. The pressure was on today. And what you have to remember, the most important thing in any football club anywhere in the world is the supporters. Together we are stronger. This belongs to you. This is our pitch.
We have a good chance now. The game has been developing during the years. The game is much quicker than it was back then. It's nice to know, and it's very important. The club has a good history. All the right stuff, all those things can help you if you really believe in it. I think and hope that we can do it this year.
Champions become legends.
Rita, Sue, Reina.
So all to play for in the second half. Glory really need the 3 points to put pressure on the top six. Wanderers equally in need after their troublesome week. This could be, we said this at the start, Daniel McBride, very interesting now, 45 minutes ahead.
Well, strap yourselves in. This is when Perth Glory tend to come alive, and they've done themselves no harm with the last gasp equaliser before the break. And Marco Redan spoke about in the pre-game the young players, when they concede, dropping their heads for the next 5 minutes. Well, on this occasion, the next 5 minutes he was with them, so hopefully he got their heads up, got them in the right direction for the Western Sydney.
Perth Glory attacking the shed end of the ground in the second half. We know how good they are in second half of games. See how that plays out, whether the pattern repeats. Sent out of play by Daryl Latchman, who's out of contract incidentally at the end of the season. Big central defender who's played internationally for Curaçao. Said in the media he understands that he needs to pick his form up if he's going to get a new deal. Was the Glory starting list at the start of play. A couple of changes. No Alexander Sushniar today due to injury. Kalen Majekadumbi making his maiden A-League start, and Karen Carluccio, of course, ineligible against the Wanderers, so David Williams in from the off. 4 changes for the Wanderers. Marcelo back, Jack Clisby as well, Milos Ninkovic and Sonny Kittle, the inclusions. As the Wanderers look to launch an attack of Kalen Majekadumbi. Sean Evans says no. Of course, they will check that. Meantime, Lawrence Thomas has to get there ahead of Adam Taggart, and did so for Western Sydney. And then a foul on Brandon Borello. Let's have another look at this one. Against the arm away, Majekadumbi. Wanderers, I guess, within their rights to ask the question.
He's down by his side, wasn't he? Must have been, if I was on the opposition, I'd be asking the question as well.
Only 20, Kalen Majekadumbi, actually born in Northampton in the UK. It is an Australian under-20 international. Ninkovic and Mustafa Amini. Were they teammates at Sydney FC briefly? Is that the right season that I'm thinking of or not?
Not sure if they did.
I'm sure someone will tell us. Put forward by Colling. Marcelo. Midfield where Hendricks is positioned. Ninkovic. Those two again. Ninkovic a little bit more irritated this time.
Yep, 21-22.
There we go. Marcelo. Rare error in possession from the big Brazilian. Let's get the throw in, a touch off Jaden Gorman, I think, on the way through. Hendricks. Kittle. Clisby an option wide left, but they go centrally instead. Ninkovic trying to thread the needle. We've seen him do that on so many occasions in the past.
It was the right idea, wasn't it? Just a little bit too much on it for Brandon Borello.
Wanderers' goal in the first half was 15th headed goal that the Wanderers have scored this season. Easily the most of any A-League club. Here's a meaning. Daniel Benny was in position, but not played early enough by Josh Rawlins. Really know why he delayed. Given away though, briefly, by the Wanderers. Now Borello. It's tripped by David Williams.
Yeah, just getting back to that run from Benny as he's clear foul from Williams. Played good dividends for them in the first half with his runs in behind, and I think he should have been released on that occasion.
Time here for Sonny Kittle. It back off Ninkovic. Pushing forward Aidan Simmons on the right. Borello. Simmons has just stolen in behind and gets the cross in. And it goes off Josh Rawlins. Back for another spell with the Glory after his move to Utrecht in the Netherlands. Didn't play for the senior team in the Eredivisie, but did make 24 appearances for young Utrecht. And he is officially on loan back at Perth. Still have hopes of making it over in Europe, no doubt. Kittle. It's all a bit static for the Wanderers. Borello trying to link up with Ninkovic. Thump clear, David Williams try and worry the Wanderers' defence. This is Jaden Gorman. He's played only 34 minutes in 3 substitute appearances prior to today. But, on at the half-time break for the stricken Stefan Kolakowski. Linking up nicely here with Colley. Now Williams. And Rawlins on the right. It's not a good ball. And easily steered away to safety by Marcelo. Just the wrong option, really.
Well, they worked it well. Probably could have gone out there a little earlier. And then, as you said, maybe the wrong option.
Walland, and it goes off Kittle. Another throw for Perth, who have a trip to Melbourne Victory to come after the international break on the 31st of March for a pair of home games against Sydney and Adelaide. They will want to make ground on the top 6 here today. Williams, Colley. It's just a little bit too far wide for Mustiamini. Run back well though by Rawlins, and then floated forward by Laxman. It was the perfect weight for Adam Taggart, which he acknowledges. There's Glory's next 5.
Well, that's a wonderful ball, isn't it, from Darryl Latchman? Taggart doing Adam Taggart things, just drifting off the back of the defender there. He gets the leg up.
Aidan Simmons. Good jump forward by Priestman. There's an interplay between Antonsen and Kittle, who was at the near post, but Latchman well stationed. Wanderers corner. Looks as though Marko Redan might be readying Nicholas Milanovic to be introduced. There's the Wanderers' next 5. Local derby away to Macarthur, Brisbane at home, and then another big Sydney derby before the 2 Melbourne clubs come into play. Kittle's delivery towards the near post. Steered away by Taggart, back in by Hendricks, and then Benny on the volley. Priestman. Behind him is Hendricks. Glory happy to just sit off. Allow Wanderers to have the ball in these sorts of areas. It's a feature of the first half as well. Clisby to play it in behind for Hendricks, who earns a corner off Giordano Colli. In front of the small band of Western Sydney Wanderers fans who are in that corner. Made the long trip west today. There they are.
And they're making sure they get the last bit of the sunshine in that corner, aren't they?
Hendricks' corner, the outswinger. Good distance on the punch from Ollie Sale. Nodded forward by Gorman. Williams. And Gorman is in position for the return and was bowled over by Priestman. Free kick. Gorman asking for a little bit more than the free kick, I think, as well.
I think the free kicks, had to wait for the ball, didn't he? He just got his body across. Mr. Priestman there, who was only a fraction late.
Amini. Rawlins hits the byline, floats the cross in. Williams didn't get the perfect connection, David Williams. He's normally so good in the air.
Well, it was a perfect cross. When you get to the byline, just hang it up and let someone attack it. And when you saw Davey Williams going in, you thought, well, this is going to end up in the back of the net. And he just, maybe he's put off a little bit by Marcelo coming towards him, and he just balked. And that was enough for him to just miss his contact.
Glory in the mood now. Gorman is guilty of charging into Aidan Simmons, which hasn't gone down too well with sections of the home support.
Yeah, I think he got it right. And here's another look at that chance. That's the kind of ball, as a striker, your eyes light up and you see David Williams. He just has a little look there. Marcelo does just enough.
They thought that was the moment, but not to be. Strong play by Riley Warland. He's done really well. Two Wanderers players to deal with. Lockie Brook and Nicholas Milanovic, both left on the bench today, but both going through some pretty stringent warm-up exercises. Gloria away on the right here. Rawlins in possession. It's not a good release. Comfortable for Beadling. Clisby sliding in with Rawlins. And Wanderers get the throw.
You can see just a little frustrated with himself there. Made the wrong decision again.
Amini. Warland. Yeah, that was sort of betwixt and between Rawlins and Benny. Here's those changes, I fancy, for the Wanderers. Yep, Milos Ninkovic, as predicted, is only able to get through just shy of an hour. And Brandon Borello, the scorer of the opening goal, also takes his leave. So Milanovic and Lockie Brook, the fresh legs off the bench, both about to head off on Wally Rouge duty for that West Asian Championships in Saudi Arabia. Maybe the hamstring a bit tight for Milos. But two good introductions for Marco Redan to have off the bench, that's for sure. They're the two top scorers this season for the Wanderers.
Yeah, and when pressed on that pre-match, said thought it might be good to introduce them in the last half hour or the back end of the game, and maybe get Perth on the back foot rather than let them come at them.
Well, we played an hour. This is normally the sort of period where the Glory come alive. The cross from Rawlins, attacked by Gorman. And it is going to be a corner.
Well, almost on cue. Not a bad ball into the box. Gorman attacks that ball and Simmons just gets ahead to it. It's another Perth Glory corner.
Which is just being held up for the moment because Milos Ninkovic is wandering around behind the goal and Sean Evans wants him well out of the way. For Riley Warland delivers. Flat delivery, too flat. Easily swept forward by Jorrit Hendricks at the near post. At what point does the Glory charge begin? We've seen it so many times this season. Heavy touch by Gorman. Simmons picks his pocket. Kittle. Brook. Priestman turning back for Marcelo. A little bit of contact from David Williams. Enough for the free kick. Perth will really be hoping that under Ross Pelligra the glory days will truly return. It's going to be 20 years next month since they last were national champions in the days of the old NSL. Bobby Despotovsky, Damien Murray, Nicky Berger, Jamie Harmwell, et al.
Star-studded teams, weren't they, back then?
Ollie Sale wearing the headband, which apparently his mom is not keen on, I'm told. Doesn't like it. So if you're watching Mrs. Sale, that's for you. I don't think our mums ever liked what we wear, do they? Mine certainly doesn't.
Get a haircut.
Yep. Heard that a few times. Here's Amini. Need to drive it across fields. Had too much on it for Benny.
I just wonder if they had the sprinklers on at half-time, because there's been a couple of those balls now that have just skidded on as the balls, longer passes have been played.
Antonsen, right in the challenge of Amini. Brook. More centrally is Jorrit Hendricks, who's going to have a go. Straight at Ollie Sale. He looks to get the Glory moving quickly. Again, it's overhit. Just a bit laboured for Perth. And Amini has stayed down after that previous passage of play and needs some attention. The Wanderers not of a mind, at least as yet, to kick the ball out. And hence the boos from the home fans. They're under no obligation. This is Milanovic. Hits the byline, drives it across, and there was nobody there to apply the finishing touch. And really that's where you want your Antonsen to be gambling at the back post.
Yep. Here's another look at the injury on the stretch. I'm not sure if it's just a cramp. He caught the knock. It might be a cramp on that right leg, is it? Yep.
a chance for the players to take some liquid on board, which they need on this hot day. Mustafa Amini is going to be withdrawn, as is David Williams. He's going to have to wait a bit longer for goal number 50 in the A-League. Josh Anasmo to be Williams' replacement, and Trent Osler has been summoned in place of Mustafa Amini. So fresh legs for the home side as well.
Well, if previous weeks have been anything to go by, you asked when will we flip the switch, Perth Glory. Well, Anasmo coming in has been very good off the bench for Perth, particularly at home.
David Williams, that big chance in the second half, which I'm sure he's still replaying in his head. I said it was Josh Anasmo, of course it's Joel Anasmo. There are two. This is Joel, the 19-year-old who's come on today, who is Josh's brother. Trent Osler has been used regularly off the bench this season. He started one game. It was against Melbourne City back in December. Both just in need of that little bit of a spark. Here's Gorman. Maybe they're going to get it here. Adam Taggart, 3 against 2 for the moment. Daniel Benny wide right. Benny goes across the keeper. Taggart on the follow-up. It's a really good challenge by Hendricks to hold him up. Taggart again. And the Wanderers scramble it clear. Big chance for Perth Glory, but they couldn't take it.
Well, it was a wonderful bit of desperation from Joel Hendricks, and the rebound as the ball fell to Adam Taggart, threw his body in. The blocking challenge. And there's a good opportunity for Perth Glory to take the lead.
And their tails are up here. Rawlins on the right. It'll drop for Taggart. Misses kick. Jaden Gorman. And it's deflected via Aidan Simmons behind for a corner. And here comes the big Glory push. You fancy?
Well, since the substitutions, they've come to life, haven't they? It's a good save by Lawrence Thomas, but it pushes straight into the look of that challenge from Hendricks. And then as the ball's deflected, Taggart can't believe he missed that. Gorman strikes the ball straight into Simmons.
Here's the corner, floated towards the back post. Adam Taggart can't reach it. Oh, that's Lawrence Thomas. And the Wanderers can breathe a bit of a sigh of relief.
Yeah, you just feel that Perth have just flipped the switch and said, right out, now it's party time.
Well, Marco Redan will be aware of the numbers. 21 goals scored by Glory this season in the 75th minute or later. They've been caught offside here. Hendricks. No way through. Nasmo takes over. Looking for Taggart, it was slightly behind him. One back, high at the park though by Warland. Who's in position for the return ball, hangs it up for the back post. Taggart climbed well. Couldn't hit the target. And one or two Wanderers players slumping to the turf with tiredness and a bit of cramp for Clisby and for Priestman.
You just feel there's been a little change. You can feel the crowd starting to get into it. And I think Clisby does just enough. See there, that little nudge in the back of Taggart. maybe just enough to have put him off balance. It was a lovely ball in from Warland. Gets up well, Taggart, but just gets caught a little under the ball, can't quite get over it and down.
Jack Clisby says he's okay. But these are crucial moments for these two teams for different reasons. Alan Stajic not happy again that some time has been taken to get play restarted.
Well, I think they're saying that he has to come off because he wasn't going to look like he wasn't coming off after getting treatment.
A lot of youngsters at that end of the ground. Good to see the next generation attending the football. This club of great heritage. Yet, I guess you could say, to have real lift-off in the A-League era. Maybe it will come under Ross Pelligra. They did win the Premiership, of course, 2019. Grand finalists that year, grand finalists 2012. A couple of Australia Cup finals. But a long, long wait for a championship. And ditto, I guess, for the Western Sydney Wanderers. 10 years since they won their last trophy, the AFC Asian Champions League. Tony Popovic, the last coach to lift silverware with both clubs. Kittle. Threaded ball through, but it wouldn't stick for Marcus Antonsen. And the chase is on, and Anasmo is quick. And away from Marcelo, he's got Taggart if he can find him. And credit to Tom Beadling, who shot down that opportunity as quick as it arrived. An absolutely vital intervention.
I think Joel Anasmo's final touch was just a little too heavy, and that allowed Beadling in.
Now here's Milanovic at the other end, but it's not a good ball for Brook.
And this is what you'll be wanting now for Perth Glory. Isolate these two together because he is rapid, Anasmo. You see that touch there is just enough for Beadling to come and close down the space and block the cross.
Meantime, Lockie Brook trying to pick his way through. Spins up in the air and drops here for Kittle. Back for Hendricks, who thought he'd chances are. Just routine for Sale. And Daniel Benny. And there are some tired Wanderers' legs. Benny looking to go on the outside of Jack Clisby. Has to settle for a throw.
You can just see the game starting to stretch now from front to back. A lot more spaces through midfield. That can only play into Perth Glory's hands the way they like to finish games.
They'll be aware of which players have been having treatments for cramp. Clisby among them if they can isolate him one-on-one with Daniel Benny. It's a good turn by Jaden Gorman, but Marcelo read it. Brook, Hendricks, Kittle has Milanovic outside him. It's fresh legs, of course, off the bench. Having a good season too, Nicholas Milanovic. Top of the box is now Sonny Kittle, who bends it and wasn't too far away from restoring the Wanderers' lead.
Well, he took up a good position on the edge of the box. I'm not sure if Ollie Sale was getting there, if that was going inside the post. This would give us a better look. Or maybe he would have had it covered, but it wasn't a bad effort, was it? He had that opportunity earlier on his left foot that we thought he may have gone for goal.
Just the Wanderers' second shot of the second half. The first one came just a few moments ago via Jorrit Hendricks. Glory have certainly dominated, maybe not the final third entries, but in terms of chances created, we're just about to hit the portion of the game that they like the most. Here's Benny. Warland. And Nasmo. Getting inside, looking for a shooting angle. Little touch for Daniel Benny, the back heel. And Jaden Gorman sweeps his shot.
Well, it's an Nasmo again, isn't it? Creating opportunities, playing the ball in, and it's an intelligent back heel from Daniel Benny. It allows Gorman to get in, see their lovely touch, and then look at that. Exquisite little back heel, and he just doesn't quite connect with it. Drags it across the face, and that's a real good opportunity. I just cannot believe it.
Lawrence Thomas given the hurry along again. Of course, he's on a yellow card, so he dare not risk the wrath of Sean Evans once more. Jorrit Hendricks is down just for the moment. This is tough for Western Sydney Wanderers. Not just on the back of the result at Melbourne City, but the travel that they've had this week as well.
Both physically and mentally, this is a real test. And under pressure, away to the Perth Glory.
Not quite fine, Lachlan Brook. If you were Marco Redan, if you offered him a point now, would he take it? Not going to happen, of course. Here's Benny. Three Glory players in the box. Back out they come. Colley. And Nasmo. He's certainly injected plenty of spark off the bench. Colley. That little run of Daniel Benny. Might have gone himself. Spins up in the air. Hendricks gets it partly clear. Glory want a foul on the edge of the box, and well, Sean Evans, I didn't think he was going to give it for a moment, and then he changed his mind.
Well, I must admit, I thought it was the other way. I thought Daniel Benny clapped it into Anderson. Let's have another look here.
Well, he's pushed into that contact with Jaden Gorman by Trent Osler, isn't he?
Yeah. And I think his potential foul would be the other way.
I guess the question for Sean Evans was that arm that is reaching around. Maybe he sees that as the intentional part, if not the nudge in the first place into the back of the Swede. Well, this is perfectly within range. Lawrence Thomas has to get that wall of 5, possibly even 6. Absolutely spot on. Riley Warland maybe fancies this one. Giordano Colley takes plenty of free kicks. He's there as well, just to keep the Wanderers guessing. This could be a key moment in this contest. Riley Warland has never scored in the Isuzu A-League men's competition. And he still hasn't. Lawrence Thomas got the angles right and pushes the ball away to safety.
Well, he struck it quite well, didn't he? But it was straight down the throat, really, of Lawrence Thomas. And you'd expect him to save.
Fraction over 10 minutes to go. Colley's corner for the Glory near post. Easily seen out by Hendricks. Back in by Warland. A bit of space here for Giordano Colley. Daniel Benny calling for it and receiving. Cross deflected, referee in the way again. Not for the first time this evening. Which Collie wasn't happy about. Antonsen, Wanderers looking to just relieve the pressure.
This is what we spoke about in the first half, is controlling the tempo of the game. Seem to have been under a barrage of pressure for the last 5, maybe even 10 minutes in Perth. This is a little bit of respite.
Lachlan Brook. Hendricks. And Milanovic has time to try and pick out a teammate. And a rare second half corner for Western Sydney Wanderers off Josh Rawlins.
He found himself in a lot of space there, Milanovic, didn't he?
That's the As Live ladder. It's not going to do too much for either team's league position. A draw. A win takes Wanderers in. Another change for Western Sydney Wanderers. Jack Clisby, who has been struggling with cramp, is replaced by Dylan Shikluna, who of course started midweek against Melbourne City in that left-back position, so it's not unfamiliar to him, if indeed that's where he plays.
I actually thought he did well on the ball while he was on.
A set piece might offer the Wanderers their best opportunity of pinching a goal. There's the usual push and shove involving Warland and Marcelo, Beadling and Rawlings. Hendricks' corner. And a good climb by Majeka Dummi. Back in by Priestman, who now has to turn and chase. Shikluna. He is comfortable on the ball, Dylan Shikluna. Brook. Kittle looking for an angle and clips it to the back post. And it needed that intervention from Daniel Benny. Another corner for the Wanderers.
It's a neat play, Sonny Kittle. Dink it to that back post, and Milanovic just caught on his heels a little. Daniel Benny having to head away.
So Beadling and Marcelo again looking to make their move. Sonny Kittle with the delivery to come. And then Marcelo, big chance here. Good save, Sale, but he can't prevent the follow-up. And the Wanderers have the ball in the back of the net, but the flag has gone up near side. Whistle has blown, and it's not going to count.
Well, I'm not too sure about this. I think when that ball comes back off the save of Ollie Sale, it hits a Sydney player. Unless it's from the original header that was flicked on by Marcelo, but let's have another look. He's onside there for me. And then as this save comes back from Ollie Sale, it's a great save, and they're all behind the ball anyway. So, no, it's right, Lockie Brook, is it? And they're behind the ball, so that's an onside position for me.
Well, all hinges now upon what Chris Griffiths-Jones in the VAR booth decides. And the linesman, of course, delayed the flag, which was the right thing to do. Change for glory. Johnny Katrumbis replaces Josh Rawlins, one defender for another, but still we wait the verdict as to whether this goal scored by Lachlan Brook is going to stand or not. And I guess it depends upon whether they say that it's deliberately played by a Glory defender before it comes in. It has to be, doesn't it? Before it comes back to Lockie Brook.
Well, they're behind the ball anyway, so I think maybe the first check, it might be the header from Marcelo when the ball was first headed through. I think that was the tight one.
Well, I'm with you. To the naked eye, Milanovic seemed onside, but of course that can be deceptive. Goal. And your instincts were right, Daniel McBride. Lockie Brook restores the Wanderers' advantage. They haven't had many chances in this second half. The Glory thought they'd escaped once that flag popped up, but VAR confirms that the goal stands.
Well, you can see on from Priestman, that's intelligent header from Marcelo. Ollie Sale does wonderfully well, but it's Western Sydney players who react quickest. So you see there, he's just in an onside position. I think it's Latchman that keeps him on. They're behind the ball, so when Ollie Sale makes the save, Lockie Brook has the easiest of tasks of tapping it into an empty net.
I guess Glory will argue that Lockie Brook is actually standing offside when that ball is played through to Antonsen, but
second phase.
Yep, second phase of play. Beauty prizes, but it will feel aesthetically wonderful to Western Sydney Wanderers at this precise moment.
Yeah, well, what a goal. What a turnaround it could be for them for this final 5 or 6 games of the season, heading into finals. They've soaked up a lot of pressure in this second half. Still a little bit of time for Perth Glory, don't forget that, but that will feel like a weight off their shoulders.
Marcelo's been booked for dissent, arguing that the goal should stand. So rather needless yellow card at the end, but you understand that players know just how important from them before. We saw one last time out against the Newcastle Jets where they came from 2 goals down to scramble a 2-2 draw. So the Wanderers are not over the line just yet. They give themselves a big chance for a vital win on the roads, courtesy of Lockie Brook's 8th of the season. Here's Giordano Colli. And now Alan Stajic, no doubt, thinking about all the chances that Perth Glory squandered. Benny. Equally, nobody within range to pick up that ball for the Wanderers. They've set themselves in the low defensive block now, the red and black. What we have, we hold is the message. Are Glory good enough? Find a way through. This is Daniel Benny. Leaves it for Joel Anasmo. Jakadumbi. Gorman. Out for Benny. Little pass slipped through for Katrumbis, cleverly done. And Taggart got a little piece of it, but it is going to be a corner off Aidan Simmons.
And Marcelo is giving his teammates a serve there. Shakluna turning his back.
Now late change for Western Sydney Wanderers. Sonny Kittle has run his race. And Nathaniel Blair is going to be introduced. Sonny Kittle taking as many seconds as he can possibly get away with before wandering off. And we are into the 90th minute of the game. imagine there's going to be a few more minutes to be added on for stoppages, though. Daniel Blair takes his position defensively for the corner, which Riley Warland will deliver. Good shout, good take by Lawrence Thomas. Paramount Plus player index. Well, Lockie Brook has only been on the pitch a matter of minutes, and he's top of the shop at the moment. And we're going to have 7 additional minutes. We're in the first of those now. Can Perth pull off another late escape act?
Well, there it is. The green line means it's level. So you normally see a blue and a yellow, a blue and a red, sorry. And it's a green line. That means they've come together and it's level, which means it's onside. And they're the fine margins that can change a season.
And then the touch off Ollie Sale brings Lachlan Brook back into play, even though he was offside in the first phase. Need a degree in maths these days, don't you? To work all this out.
It's never my strong point, maths.
No, mine either. Well, how crucial are these last few minutes for Perth Glory? Their season potentially teetering on the brink. They won't be mathematically out of it, of course, if they do lose, but it's going to leave them an awful lot to do. And home games are key for the Glory.
Here they are, but time is running out. And they've huffed and puffed. They haven't turned enough of them into 3 points.
Here's Anasmo. Warland. Disappointing. A tired-looking cross.
You just feel they were getting the crowd back into it, and that's just sucked all of the air out of the stadium.
Who'd be a coach? But if the Wanderers do see this one out, Mackie, you have to say they will have passed a very stern test of character. You almost don't want to tempt fate on behalf of their supporters. There's still a bit to run in this game. That's a foul by Benny on Shakluna.
See there, a little shove in the back. You're always asking for a defender to go down in those positions. Doesn't have to be too much. And it's all valuable seconds.
Wanderers within 4 minutes now of returning back to the top 6. If they can maintain their composure, Glory will try and throw everything at them these last few minutes. Here's Joel Anasmo. No way past Simmons this time. It's well played by Lachlan Brook. Brilliant. And the ball stayed in play as well. It's a super contribution from Lachlan Brook. And Milanovic trying to seal it once and for all. That might not have been too far away.
Well, you can see the orders from Marco Redan is get back quickly. Milanovic let fly from distance. Wasn't too far wide, was it?
Sands of time running short for Perth Glory. Six games to play after today. 8 points behind. Chested down by Osler. That's a really useful ball. Taggart forced wide and out by Shakluna. It's a good piece of defending. It is going to be a Glory corner, but just for a moment it opened up for Adam Taggart.
Well, he's going to have to sweat out the last couple of minutes, isn't he?
Stress levels through the roof.
Ollie
Sales come on. Could that headband meet the ball and make him a hero? Here's the corner, it's over his head, over everybody's head apart from Milanovic. He flicks it away for another corner, and Ollie Sale will stay up for this one too.
Well, he needed a call there, didn't he, Milanovic? He could have just let that one go and been out for a throw-in.
We've just been reminded that Danny Vukovic tried a bicycle kick in a similar situation for Glory 10 years ago in this ground, in this fixture. Colley's corner didn't get any sort of elevation. And Ollie Sale's now got to race back some 80, 90 metres before the Wanderers can pinch the ball, which they can't do, because Milanovic has coughed up a foul and a free kick. Sean Evans wants it taken from the right spot. Colley wants width. Didn't arrive quickly enough. Latchman. Katrumbis. Big appeals for handball. Glory going to have to settle for a corner.
Yeah, his arm was in front of his body, against his body.
Where's Ollie Sale? Is he not coming up for this one? Or is he knackered up? Oh, he is coming up.
I'll remind you that Ryan Scott had a chance in the last moments of the game for Newcastle as well.
He's been doing doggies the last 2 minutes. Corner work to the top of the box. Hung up by Majakadumbi, and Taggart heads wide. Jaden Gorman was reaching with every sinew in his body to try and get a touch. Is that the last chance for Perth? Stoppage time almost up. The Wanderers within touching distance of a huge 3 points. Into the 98th minute, and the full-time whistle blows, and it's a win for the Wanderers. And how badly did they need that after what has been a tumultuous week? It's their first win here at HBF Park since February 2014, and it's one that surely ends Glory's interest in the finals this season. Hugs all round between coach and players. There was maybe a hint of winner stood after Brandon Borello had given them a first half lead. Cancelled out by Adam Taggart. Glory pushed and pushed in the second half, but could not find a way past Lawrence Thomas. And in the end, it is the Wanderers